Hi everyone, my name is Canseco. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and welcome to Mirror House Immigration Channel, where we give you all kinds of tips and information about Canadian immigration. And in this video, I want to talk to you about 3 mistakes that I want to make sure that you avoid when you apply for your post-graduation work permit. So let's start. Mistake number 1 that I wanted to avoid: submitting an incomplete application. So I know that this sounds super basic, but you have no idea of how many applications I've seen come back refused because of a missing document. So how to avoid this: always double check that you have submitted all of the required documents and forms, check the document checklist, and it's always good practice to have a second set of eyes, check your application before you submit. Mistake number 2 that I wanted to avoid is have your study permit expire before you submit your PGWP application. So as you are aware, you need to hold a valid study permit at the time you submit your application for your post-graduation work permit. Now, this is where you need to be organized, and please do not leave this to the last minute. If your study permit is expiring soon, you need to take the necessary steps to extend it. So you need to do this with enough time, because the processing time, for example, as of today is, let's say, let me check, 116 days. So that's almost 4 months. That's what it's taking IRCC to process a study permit extension from within Canada. So remember, when you extend your study permit, you may be allowed to continue studying under what's known as maintained status, but having maintained status is not the same as holding a valid study permit. So if you finish your studies and you want to apply for your PGWP, you have to actually have your new study permit with you. You can't apply while having maintained status. So you need to do this with enough time. Stop right now, go check your study permit, and make sure that you have enough time on your document. Now, mistake number 3 that I want you to avoid is having gaps in your studies. So to be eligible for a PGWP, you need to have been a full-time student during your whole studies. Now, there are, of course, exceptions to this rule. One of them is your last semester. You can be a part-time student during your last semester. And you can also have what's called a leave of studies. There's also some exceptions during some certain dates that you can look for that information online, or you can contact us and we can give you some more information. Now, I want to talk about the leave of studies. So if you take a leave, you need to inform IRCC at the time of the submission of your application for your PGWP. And then IRCC will then have to assess whether you comply with your conditions of your study permit, which include, as you know, actively pursuing your studies, right? So basically, this boils down to 1, ensuring that your leave of studies is authorized by your institution, and 2, that under no circumstances the leave should exceed 150 days. So if you do not return to school within 150 days, then you must either change your status to visitor or worker, if that's a possibility for you, or leave Canada. If you do not do any of these, then you are considered to be non-compliant. Now, there's a list of examples of what's considered to be like a reason for an authorized leave, but these are just examples. The reasons can be many others. These reasons include like pregnancy, a serious illness, a death in the family, a family emergency, and many others. Now, you keep in mind that these are only reasons, right? But you still need a document from the school saying that you're authorized to take that leave. So you want to have this document with you by the time you apply for your PGWP, because you want to submit that with the application, right? Now, last, please avoid taking multiple leaves. If you keep taking leaves from your studies, this will just complicate your file and it will just make it that much harder to prove that you've been complying with your obligations as a student. Just don't do it. Finally, these are just some of the most common mistakes that I've seen with PGWP applications. These are easy to avoid. It just takes a little bit of organization and being proactive and taking the reins of your own immigration journey. I hope you found this information useful. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. You can find our information at merhouseimmigration.ca.